gear yourself for a mental challenge.
You have to make some quick decisions when things happen.
At the end of the day, I am totally satisfied with my job.
There's no really set mold to the person we're looking for.
But generally, you're looking for officers who exemplify integrity and professionalism and, most of all, honor.
The Maine Department of Corrections has been serving the state for nearly 200 years and offers several different career opportunities and paths. These opportunities include field training officer, correctional care and treatment worker, evidence response team, special operations group, inner perimeter security team, canine handler, the honor guard, and firearms training officer.
When you first work with inmates, it can be a scary proposition. You don't know how they behave or what you're going to do and that sort of thing. So having somebody stand behind you and work with you and guide you, I think makes a big difference. Here you have to take command of what you're doing and know what it is that you are doing. The main role of a field training officer is to take the new hires and show them in the classroom what needs to be done, and then to translate that to in the real world by taking them out to the positions in the field and guiding them through the actual performance of whatever it is that they need to do in their daily duties. A good field training officers, you have to be observant. You have to know the job itself. You have to be able to multitask. I mean, you have to when you're in the field, perform the duties, but at the same time be able to guide and evaluate somebody else who's doing the job. And it takes somebody who really wants to, I think, make a difference in how things go. I mean, all the staff depends on each other, and the population actually depends on you too for their own safety and well-being. And you know, somebody who's willing to do the job well themselves and then turn around and help support somebody else who wants to do the same thing, somebody else that wants to be able to do the job well. I mean, in the long run, it's for everybody's safety and well-being.
My only advice is gear up for a very challenging job. It's definitely not a job where you come to work and you sit back and you do little. The job curtails a lot, and it's got its challenging moments that keep it very interesting. I don't think I've had a single day since I've taken it that's been the same. Our typical duties in case management as a correctional care and treatment worker is to engage the offender population and utilize our communication skills to interrupt the criminal thinking, as well as deal with risk reduction measures within the facility. To make for a safer for a safer community for this individual when he gets out of prison. If you're coming out of college and you want to do some social work, this is a great foot in the door, as well as correctional officers. It's a great way to advance throughout the department and work your way up within the department. The toughest and most challenging part of my job on a daily basis that I've discovered is the ability to know how criminals think and how to interrupt that criminal thinking. Because the minute you do that, you end up with an individual that's more open and more willing to accept change. So understanding how the human being thinks, what drives those actions, is the most challenging part of my job on a daily basis.
The evidence response team is a specialized team within the Department of Corrections that is tasked at collecting evidence for crime scenes that happen within the facility. Anybody who wanted to be a member of the team would have to take the week-long basic crime scene investigation class that the Maine State Police Office offers, and we would require that they receive their certification from the International Association of Identification as well. Our ideal candidate for the evidence response team would be somebody who is excited about law enforcement, excited about evidence collection, excited about being able to pay attention to detail, take the time that they need to just back up, look at their scene, and be meticulous. What makes me passionate about evidence collection is that physical evidence, it's face value, it is what it is. It can either prove or disprove whether or not somebody's guilty or not. And that's huge. If you have that one piece of physical evidence that makes its way chain of custody, makes its way to the DA's office, makes its way to the courtroom, and ultimately can prove that a crime occurred, that's what makes what I do awesome.
Special Operations Group is what we are. Pretty much what we are is like a tactical team within the prison. Our missions are hostage rescue, disturbance control, high-risk prisoner transports. We can be called in to do special searches of certain areas or an entire facility. There's no really set mold to the person we're looking for. We've had people with combat experience in the military that have not made it through the program, and then we've had people come in with virtually no experience at all in any type of military structure, excelled in the program and made it through without any problems at all. It's pretty intense training, more or less like going to boot camp is what it amounts to. You're going to go through a stress inoculation. A lot of that's done just to see how you're going to react in a stressful situation. If you're still going to be able to function, make proper decisions while you're under a lot of stress. There's a lot of physical activity involved in it. There's going to be a lot of physical training as far as running, push-ups, sit-ups, whatnot. Every day you're going to end up doing something like that. First day we usually have a few people that a couple hours into it, they just raise their hand and say, hey, this isn't for me, and we go up and shake their hand, hey, thanks for coming. A lot of people don't realize what they're getting into. They kind of, might watch a few videos or whatnot, but till they're actually there going through it, it's a totally different ball game. The biggest challenge would probably be you have to maintain a higher standard than regular staff members just because you're placed at a higher level. And people are kind of looking up to you because you're kind of the elite of the department. So you're always being looked at.
Primarily what we are is we're law enforcement inside this facility. The primary responsibilities of the inner perimeter security team are monitoring mail, monitoring phones, monitoring visits and civilians, monitoring inmates and their associations, monitoring STGs or security threat groups, monitoring the basic and daily functions of the facility, monitoring movement, anything to do with criminal activity inside the facility. And there's several other tasks that are involved, security audits we do as far as the physical plant and layout, and monitoring the basic functions of the facility. Prerequisites for the team would be at least having 2 years in the DOC. Hopefully for the facility that you're at, so that you know the physical and basic layout of the facility, you know what the job entails. As far as a correctional officer, you need to be certified as a law enforcement officer. That can come after you've been approved through the oral board and everything else. But primarily, 2 years. It would be good if you have some sort of college education or background, but it's not required. And it, basic knowledge of the DOC and its workings and underworkings. We're looking for integrity, honesty, justfulness, as far as looking at the justice aspect, looking to want to know the truth. And we'd also look at somebody with good moral character. Intelligence, make sure that they can follow, certain specific lines, make the dots connect. We're also looking at individuals that have a good work ethic, strong work ethic. Our schedule is not conventional by any means. We can be called in at any time, at any place, and have to move throughout the state. So as far as flexibility goes, we're looking for somebody that's very flexible and able to adapt. You need to, or else you're not going to succeed.
My favorite part of the job is just bringing my best friend to work every day and, just seeing all the hard work and time and countless hours that you put into your canine pay off. And we train constantly, and to see that the time that you put into your dog actually work is just rewarding in itself. The canine handler here at the Maine Correctional Center in the Department of Corrections is used to reduce contraband and keep the facility safe, whether it's staff, prisoners, or visitors. My primary responsibility here at the Correctional Center is to oversee and care for the canine and work the specially trained canine in a correctional setting. One of the main challenges here at the Correctional Center is just working the dog in a correctional setting. Whether it's the environment itself with the different noises and the loud bangs, or the noises from the inmate population, or the inmate population in general. Not to mention, anywhere in a facility like this, things start to look the same. So when you're working a dog, whether it's searching cells or just searching cells basically to find drugs and contraband, they look the same. So you must keep the dog motivated in order to keep him working. Because if he's not motivated to work, you're not going to work. If anybody asks me how do I become a canine handler, I say get your foot in the door, put your time in working. In our instance, our case, you work your housing units, you maintain good standing with the department, and you just put your time in, and when the opportunity opens up, people will notice that. And if you do a good job doing your normal duties, then you shouldn't have an issue doing something like canine or one of our other specialty programs.
Well, first and foremost, we're there for the families, and it's whether it be the actual officer or the families, immediate family members of the officers. The Honor Guard will do whatever is asked during funeral processions, and we do graduations, we do promotions, we do parades, or any other function where presentation of the American flag and the state flag is presented. The correctional officer will have to learn how to salute, we'll have to learn how to march, we'll have to learn how to mark time march, we'll have to how to do turns, and then that's done through practice. To be qualified to be an Honor Guard member, you have to be in good standing for 1 year and discipline free. And you have to be physically fit to do the job, whether it be saluting, marching, standing for prolonged periods of time. They have to be able to do complex routines given the situation. And you have to be flexible with the schedule as well. In your daily performance of your duties, you have to be able to articulate that you exemplify integrity, you exemplify professionalism, and you exemplify honor. When I decided to become on the Honor Guard, I was in 2005, and I was a newly promoted sergeant, and I wanted to do something that exemplified what my training and education has always promoted, which was a man for others. And this is a good way to do it.
My suggestion, if somebody wanted to come in as a firearms instructor for the department, I tell them to go to some NRA stuff, start shooting some competitive, get an NRA instructor credential, go to a lot of their classes, a lot of technical knowledge, a lot of gun magazines, read, absorb. The roles of our firearms instructor or any firearms instructor is basically range safety first, of course, diagnosing new shooters, what they're doing wrong and how they can improve, being able to teach all weapon systems that we have and being really competent with them, and be able to transfer the information to the new students and having them able to understand what we're doing. The value of having instructors in the Maine Department of Corrections, one thing, we get a consistent program. We got guys we work with that we all know, we get to know, and we're not hiring outside the department. The reason I really like my job is the accomplishments I see at the end of the 4 or 6 day programs, and being around guns, firearms, learning new things, all the technical stuff on a daily basis, and the people I meet across the country dealing with this job that I on the phone or in person, stuff like that. I really enjoy that, meeting the new people.
I find satisfaction in something I do every day when I come to work. I haven't had a single day where I've gone, yes, I didn't do anything today.
I love my job because of the challenges that it poses.
I've worked the field, I've worked the floors, as they say, my entire career, 24 years. because I like working with people, and the same thing applies when I'm training with somebody.
I love my career. I love my job. It changes every day.
There are two types of people who come into the job. The ones who need a job. They need the benefits, they need the money, they got to pay the bill, put food on the table, pay their mortgage, or what have you. They need a job. And then you have the people who are looking to use it as a stepping stone in the Department of Corrections. It's a great stepping stone.